Good evening, everybody. I chose to do the article on George Whitefield. Specifically, it's Peddler and Divinity, George Whitefield and the Great Awakening, 1737, 1745 by Frank Lampart. And I wanted to start this off by addressing George Whitefield's model for his specific way of bringing Christianity to the New World. George Whitefield said, arguing that their success in profitable trade promoted soul winning by generating the funds necessary to conduct transatlantic revivals. In the 1700s, Mr. Whitefield is a voice for Christianity. He is most well known for the series of books that he creates, the sermons, spreading the gospel through the colonies, specifically in Georgia and throughout the South and Virginia. But there's a side to him that many real modern day and even during his time, other Christians and other evangelicalists have an issue with, and that is really the profiteering side of it. Mr. Whitefield is the first person that I think in history you could really argue sort of fits the model of the televangelist. He weaponizes the modern day press for the 1800s. He befriends people like Seward, who is really a local businessman who is very good at showcasing George Whitefield and showcasing his sermons, and he kind of sells him. He gets his voice out there more so than anybody else's. Really, that drives profitability. He does the same thing with Benjamin Franklin. Franklin, as we all know, is a fairly famous deist. But even Franklin saw the business aspect of what George Whitefield was trying to do. Mr. Whitefield goes as far as, buying his own press so that he can get more and more of his works out. There's some ranging in there that people talk about that there's about 30 to 40% at times that all of the sermon and all of the biblical works that are being published in certain colonies are only being published from Mr. Whitefield. It raises a considerable amount of wealth for him. And that's kind of the negative piece to it. The positive piece, though, is that he is a man of God. He devotes very early in his life that he's going to give his hands into the Lord. He spends his entire life working in that manner, though he did profit from it. He intentionally sells his books at lower prices. That way the poor can have them. He has an orphanage that he runs in Georgia, which helps hundreds and hundreds of people. So there's really two sides to him. There's the side that people don't agree with, which is the modeling for money, basically using Christianity in that way. And then there's the side of him that is very, holy and very good, and that he is giving and he's ensuring that the word's getting out there. I would like to argue 50-50 split on him. I think he's very important. I think in this modern day time, he really pushes the threshold of how to get the gospel out there, how to get his sermons out there, how to distribute books, which will then lead into really favorable conditions for the revolution and how those important pamphlets got delivered to people and how those words really spread around. They kind of drew everybody in to really rebellion. I don't necessarily agree with prophetizing. He gets a really fancy carriage at one point in his life, and everybody's kind of upset about it. The article talks about how he wanted his stuff brought over because he's really concerned with his stuff, his big chest. But still, though, he does a wonderful job of spreading the gospel. I think he's very important a topic. Really interested to hear what you guys have to say about him. I hope some of the other students chose this specific person. I'm excited about it, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say.